Hey guys, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. You know, if you've watched a lot of my videos and the videos especially that pertain to training for throwing and training for track and field, what you've noticed is that I talk a lot about bodyweight style training. Basically, no external resistance, no weights, no dumbbells, no kettlebells, nothing special. Bodyweight training, and it's the basics. But the reason why I love bodyweight training so much is that you can use it with a large group of athletes or a large team of athletes together in a setting without getting too crazy. You don't need a huge mess of dumbbells or benches or power racks or pull-up bars or anything crazy like that to get a good group of about 10 to 20 athletes a great workout. The other thing I love about bodyweight training is that you can do it anywhere. You can do it in the weight room. You can do it out on the field. You can do it on the track. You can do bodyweight training inside in a hallway even, or in a locker room if the weather is terrible outside. Bodyweight training is very basic, but it works extremely well. What I wanted to do in this video is talk to you a little bit about bodyweight training for beginner athletes. Here at Primal, we do have, if you've seen the videos, we have guys who can, squat well over 400 pounds, girls that are benching up to 200 pounds. We've got people who can clean and press, 60, 70, 80-pound dumbbells. We have very strong athletes, but that's only about 10% of the people that train here at Primal. The other 90% of the athletes that I train are beginner athletes. Freshmen and sophomores in high school, even some 8th graders that do not have any experience weight training, and they start off using basic body weight exercises, things like push-ups, lunges, body weight squats, pull-ups, ring rows, body weight exercises just like that. Now, what you run into as a coach and what you run into when you work with beginner athletes that maybe don't have the experience level and don't have the years of training under the belt is that even the most basic bodyweight exercises are tough for certain athletes. So what I wanted to do today is take the most basic bodyweight exercise that we've all done since we were little kids, break it down, and show you not how to make it harder, but how to make it easier for beginner athletes that might not be able to do it. And that's the push-up. Now, in order to do a push-up, you need to have a strong chest, strong triceps and shoulders. You need to have a nice, strong core. You need to be able to stabilize your lower back, your stomach, and your hips and your glutes. Squeeze them together so that your hips do not drop down to the ground and so that your butt does not come up in the air. You need to stay nice and level. Now, for a lot of beginner athletes, that is actually where the trouble occurs. They don't have that core strength. It might not necessarily be upper body pressing strength, but it's that core strength. So what you want to do to make this as easy as possible is get on the squat rack or the power rack, take a 45-pound bar and put it nice and high, right about chest level, and have your athlete start by doing push-ups holding on to that bar. Over the course of time, that becomes very easy, and what you want to do is lower that bar. So keep bringing it down a few inches every time until they're ready to go even lower. Pretty soon what you're going to notice is that the athlete is going to be close to the ground. At that point, they've built themselves up to keep their stomach tight, to keep their lower back tight, their glutes tight, to build up that pressing strength of the chest, shoulders, and triceps, and to get their body ready for pushing on the ground. Now, once you are at that stage where you are doing push-ups on the ground, now you're ready to make it a little bit more difficult for them. And this is not an overnight thing. This takes a little bit of time. So what you can do is you can prop their feet up on a bench, or you can prop their feet up on a plyo box. You can externally load with either a weight vest or a sandbag, or very light like a 10-pound or even a 25-pound plate by putting it on their back. There are many ways to take a simple body weight movement like a push-up and either make it easier for the athlete if they're having trouble doing it, or make it more difficult for the athlete. Now here's the tricky part. It's up to you as a coach to know when you need to make it easier or when you need to make it more difficult. If you have somebody who's just blasting through a bunch of push-ups and it's not challenging them at all, you need to make it more difficult. And you need to know when that occurs. So you have to keep an eye on your athletes. It might say on your training schedule that you're doing push-ups, but every athlete in that room needs to know exactly what kind of push-up they're doing. The majority of them will be doing push-ups on the ground. Certain people that have been doing it for a long time will be doing a resisted push-up, or doing a push-up with their feet on a bench. Beginner athletes, maybe heavier athletes that don't have a lot of time working with body weight, will be doing it on the power rack, doing push-ups against a 45-pound bar, and you'll have to keep in mind and maybe even make notes as to where you're going to put that bar on the rack. So guys, as you can see, bodyweight training is not just your basic push-ups, pull-ups, lunges, bodyweight squats. If you are creative, if you put a little bit of thought into it, you can make bodyweight movements easier, or you can make bodyweight movements harder, depending on the level of athlete that you're working with. Now, we have been getting a ton of questions regarding training for track and field. And this is the time to ask because we're in the very beginning of indoor season around the country. So if you have questions about your training, get them in now. Don't start asking training questions at the end of the year when it's already too late. Ask your training questions now. Get them emailed to me, leave them on the Primal Athlete Training Center Facebook page, or you can leave them on the YouTube page or underneath the YouTube video. I will get those questions right to my cell phone and answer them for you right away. Hope to hear from you soon.